Hey, I'm Drotos from keyboardimprov.com, and welcome to day 20, yes, a 2 out in front, of our Rock Piano for Beginners Workout Challenge. 31 days to fluency. You could have called it that, 31 days to fluency. So congratulations, you are here. So let's review the A and D blues scales, and then we'll look at the E blues scale. So remember, I'm going to put this up for 20 minutes, which will fly by. We know that. Okay, so remember the A blues scale. You can follow along with me. A, C, D, E flat. Then if you want to go up, you cross your thumb under to E, G, A. Okay, let's just improvise with that for a minute. I'm just going to play an A minor chord in the left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you look at it and you play an A minor chord, those are 3 of the notes in the chord. Matter of fact, if you play A minor 7 with a G on top, A, C, E, G, that's 4 out of the 6 notes. And they're all white notes in this case. Some of the other blues scales use different combinations of white and black notes. That's the fun of it. And we connect it with a D, and then the 4th note in the scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, is the black note, the E flat. So it's this pattern of white and black notes that we can visualize. Then, as we found out, that if we move our thumb to D and we play the same pattern, we play a white note, we skip one, we go to F, skip the E, go to F, and then stepwise to G, and then the 4th note is the black note, A flat, and then we go half step up, then skip a note to C and D. It's the same pattern. That's the cool thing about learning these 3 first. Also, they're really guitar keys, so if you're playing guitarist, it's instant rock band. So now we're gonna let's improvise in D for a second, and we'll do the D, C, D, C. Just alternate D and C chords. 1, 2, D minor and C. Let's go back to A. Ready, go. A minor. I'll go to G. Easy, right? Because they have the same shape. Excuse me. Now we'll go to E. And we're going to start with E. You can put your thumb on E. Actually, we can do one finger. Let's do one finger. So you play E. It's the same shape. We skip one note, the F. We go to G. It's a minor third higher. Then we do another step to A. Now the 4th note is the black note, B flat. Let's just play those 4 again. E, G, A, B flat. Now we go up a half step to B, and then we skip a note and we go to D, which is a step lower than the tonic. Let's do that again. Ready, go. E, G, A, B flat, B, D, E, let's go down. Yeah, and another way to look at it, which it's good to know these different ways at the same time, we approach things from the whole, is that it's like an E minor chord, or an E minor 7 with a D up there. Those are 4 out of the 6 notes, and we just fill it in with the 4th and the flatted 5th there. Let's just out of tempo, noodle around with this. left hand. So we're going to play with the E blues scale. But what I was thinking of is that this is the 20th day. And it really does take a couple of weeks at least. This is almost the third full, beginning of the, this is the end of the third week, right? Yeah. So we're almost there, right? I don't know. So we're into our fourth week, if I'm doing the math. I don't know. Getting confused. But in any case, we've been doing this for 20 days. And it's enough time to start establishing a real habit. Because especially if you're an adult, if you're a kid or a teen looking at this, awesome. And you're already loving it or you wouldn't be here, right? So, you're where I was at that age too. However, if you're an adult and even if you're loving it right now, to continue, you have to fit it into your life somehow. And not just sort of fit it into a pre-existing life, but integrate it so it feels like part of your daily routine or every other day or whatever it is. A regular thing you do, just like eating lunch, whatever else you do. Going to work, spending time with your family, reading, whatever you do to get through your day and to enjoy life, that's what music has to become, or you won't stay at it. So the good thing is that you're developing that habit, and it's becoming a habit, right? Or if you're on day 20 already. So what you want to do now, we have 11 more days, is to start thinking about how you're going to continue it. Don't just wait until the 31st day and say, now what am I going to do, right? So I remember years ago, I started teaching in 1999 up in Fairbanks, Alaska, at the Fairbanks Summer Arts Festival. And I taught a 2-week singing class. It was called cabaret, but it was like jazz, rock, pop, musical theater, anything anybody wanted to do. It's a wonderful class. I still teach it. And I was up there for the first time. It was July '99. And at that time, there was no internet. And Fairbanks is isolated in a sense. It's a great community, close-knit community, but it's in the middle of Alaska. There's no other towns right around it that are nearly as big, and for hundreds and hundreds of miles. And so culturally, it was more isolated then than it is now with the internet. And I remember, and there wasn't a lot of musicians in town. I think there might be now more. But at the time, I said, okay, we've had a great 2 weeks. What are you going to do next? Because it's going to be like this big void after all these guest artists, including myself, leave. And they said nobody had ever asked them that before. What are they going to do afterwards? They appreciated that. So I suggested they form a Fairbanks Cabaret Association, which they did for a while, and they kept it going for a while. And now a lot of people are doing things like this. So it's the same thing with anything like you're doing right now. Start thinking about what you're going to do after this. It's very important. Now, you could say, okay, I'm going to watch this whole month again. That's incredible. Do that. You could watch this whole month for a year and have so much fun and become a really fluent improviser as you're learning some more chords and stuff like that. But just daily practice or every other day or something like that. What else could you do? You could find a local piano teacher and study with that person, right? You could do that if you really want to. Find the right person, and that's important. You could do my video course if you want, and I've kept it very inexpensive. You sign up for the video course, keyboardimprov.com. You could do monthly, quarterly, you could do a whole year, save some money, and you've got it. I've built a lot of these play-alongs into the videos. I've got a whole rock and blues basics course, blues scale etudes, a lot of stuff, beginning jazz, classic blues, popular songs. But the idea is that you have something to go by, and it's not isolated. You have some contact with some other energy coming from me with the video, or if we did Skype lessons or something in person, or at the same time on the internet. Or you find another course. Whatever you do, make sure, or you find a guitarist you want to jam with. Start with someone who's at your level, not like, oh, I'm so nervous playing with this person. Someone who's just learning the blues scales, right? You do that. That's how I started. That's what we're doing now, the same level we're playing. The important thing is to start thinking about that now so that you're ready. And it could be continuing these, just do this whole month again. That would be great. So start thinking about that, and you're already establishing a really good habit and enjoying it. So let's look at the key of E. And one of the songs that I started playing in E was Born to Be Wild. It has a nice organ solo. So if you have a keyboard, you can get a Hammond organ sound or just any sound, or you can play keyboard, piano, whatever you want, electric piano. But it's just, it's an open E. It's not really major or minor. I kind of hear it more minor during the solo, but it's kind of major during the verse. In any case, it's just E and B. You can play it E, B, E, or just the low E and then come up to the open fourth, B and E, but it's the root, fifth, and then if you want the root again, let's just jam, or you can just play the one note in the left hand and like B and E, or E and B, however you want. Let's just jam on this for a little while. Classic rock song, Born to Be Wild. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Couple other chords. There's a G and an A in there and a little riff. But basically during the solo though, I remember what we used to do is we just held the E out. And it's very similar to what's on the record. So I'm going to play the accompaniment and let's go back and forth. Matter of fact, let's do it together like we were doing before. You jam, I jam, whatever you want to play. 1, 2, E, blues scale, here we go. Something that works really well on organ, but also on piano. You've probably heard me do it a little. You play like the E. It works well with E, maybe some other notes too, but E particularly, the tonic, with your pinky. And then you keep playing that, but at the same time you play the other notes in the blues scale one at a time, like. On an organ, you can just hold that down. And it kind of sustains, but a piano doesn't really sustain. So you play it over and over again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, and you can actually go from the B flat to the B with one finger at the same time. Let's do that a little. Like improvise a little using the scale, and then you do that. It sounds pretty cool. So let's do that. Let's play single notes, and then when I give you the cue, we'll do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's trade 8 measures each. You go first, then I'll go. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. just the E blues scale, but I just coming back to the E, like on the downbeat of each two measures, like. See, just using my ear and my intuition. That's all that is. It's no magic, and it's not anything you memorize ahead of time. You just improvise using it. So yeah, we got started on the E blues scale, which is so easy now because we've already spent a lot of time. Actually, not a lot of time. 10 days is nothing in your musical development, right? But it's amazing how that seems like, oh, we're going to do 10 days of this, but nothing. And now you know it forever, right? So we know the A, D, and E blues scales. So I'm going to show you something now. This isn't something that I planned to do when I was thinking of this whole 31-day series, but it'd be fun. It's going to be a little hard. So I just want to throw this out for fun, right? So when I was in high school and then throughout college, and occasionally since, I would listen to the great progressive rock keyboardists, particularly one named Patrick Moraz. Along with Keith Emerson, Tony Banks, and I've been actually listening to a lot of Genesis lately with Tony Banks, but Patrick Moraz was really someone I loved in high school. He had an album called The Story of I, which was one of the first sort of progressive rock things that it actually incorporated a lot of Brazilian music, which not too much progressive rock did. And the rhythm tracks were done in Brazil, I believe, with a percussion ensemble. And Patrick Moraz played in the band Yes for about a year, I think, on their album Relayer, and then the Moody Blues for a long time. But basically, he did a thing on an album which I loved, and I just had to figure it out. It was with the E blues scale. Well, actually, I forget what blues scale it was, but we're going to do it in E. But the left hand was just a repeated bass line, kind of boogie, but it was based on E, and then C sharp, and then you go up chromatically, D, D sharp, E, so it was E, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, and you could use your 3, 1, 2, 1. That's going to need some practice, so that's your practice assignment today. If you can, do a half hour on that. So the idea is to do the left hand and the minimum you can want to do in the right hand until it starts to flow. And gradually, it could take weeks. There we go. Amazing. We're going to continue with this though. And so you could keep that going. It could be very hard at first. I think it probably took me about 3 months. But then what he did was he did it in octaves, like a disco thing. So for each E, you would go left, right, and then C sharp, left, right, D. Do this for a half hour. It'll hurt your arm, don't do that. But you can practice with the single notes for a while if you want or not. I just thought I'd throw that out as a little something extra there. Hey, great job today. We got started with the E blues scale and we jammed on Born to Be Wild, great rock song. Thanks for being here. It means a lot to me, and I'm loving this. I'm loving your comments. Thanks. Keep leaving comments. Let me know your thoughts and what you're into and how you're doing and all that. And we get to know each other through the comments, building community. So that's wonderful. Wonderful. We need each other because piano can be a solitary instrument. It's one reason why it's great to jam with somebody who, like this, or in person. Find a guitarist, saxophonist, a singer who's at your level. So you're not intimidated and you don't feel all this pressure. You're learning together. That's the best way to start jamming. It's not by learning a song and then going to a local club your first time and sitting in with professionals. That's not how you learn to jam. Find someone who's at your level and enthusiastic and a nice person like you. Thanks for being here. There's some subscribe button, whatever you want to do, some fun stuff you can click on, a video you may enjoy, and start thinking about keeping this habit going that you're developing. What are you going to do after the 31 days? That's the big thing, because this is, we're in it for the long haul. You know, I'm in it for the long haul. You're in it for the long haul, or you wouldn't be here. So good luck with that. Think about what you want to do, and we'll see you tomorrow.